Hello, I am David Chapin, and welcome to the February Company Update. This month, we have three segments. The first is a segment with Justin interviewing our new recruiter, Jill Baker. The second is me and three people who recently used the fifth year prep class to pass the journeyman's exam. And the last is Trista with a couple of company reminders and some updates about our fellow coworkers here at Wilmottrick. Thank you, and hope you're having a great 2020.
Well, hello, we're here with Jill, and we're going to do a quick interview with her. She's our new recruiter, Jill Baker. Welcome, Jill. Thanks for coming.
Yes, thank you. It's great to be here.
Jill, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you've been a recruiter in the past and why you're prepared for this job?
Okay. I came 10 years experience recruiting for a private Christian school in Lincoln Christian School, and recruiting not only students and families, but also we had an international student program. So that was a different kind of recruitment, but we sorted through and had to learn the hard way how you want to do those recruits. Just like with this, I'm sure there's different criteria that you're going to use, and it's all about communication when you are recruiting. It's how you're coming across to people. Took a lot of classes, like short-term seminars, what you're looking for and how to really zero in and not waste time looking for the wrong people, looking for the right people.
So what do you see as the next phase in recruiting, or what skills are you going to bring to the recruiting here you think they're unique?
Mm-hmm. I really love people, like I've mentioned before, and so maybe unique is that I want to know more probably than just the questions on the page that I'm going to write. I want to know a little bit more about what makes their heart tick and what makes them beat. And you get in a one-on-one situation and you get to learn that about people. And so hopefully by then I will know more about our culture and be able to make sure that's a good match, exactly what we're needing here.
What brings you to Wilmer Electric? Why did you decide to come to Wilmer Electric?
Sure. I heard a lot about Wilmer Electric and just the foundation that it was built on. Their core values is exactly a match with what I have always tried to live, and so I just knew it would be a really good fit.
So Jill, why don't you tell us a little about your family and your grandchildren?
Okay. I've been married for 35 years to my sweetheart, Brian, from college. We have two children, Abigail, who is 31. She is a missionary in Kor, Kenya, with her family there. They've been there for 2 years. And then our son, Benjamin, is a student at APU near LA, California.
So you mentioned you're from Lincoln. You're living in Lincoln right now. How long have you lived in Lincoln?
We have lived in Lincoln for 32 years.
What brought you to Lincoln? Where did you go to from Lincoln?
Okay.
Arrive.
I was born and raised in Fremont, Nebraska, not too far from Lincoln. After I married Brian, he's from Texas, so we were in Texas for 18 months, and I really love Nebraska. So I convinced him to come back because the hunting is really good, and we have been in Nebraska ever since.
Now, I've heard a rumor that while you were in Texas, you worked for someone who was very interesting.
Yes, I did. It was kind of crazy. Worked for, now they're not a team here anymore, but the Houston Oilers. I started out as a receptionist for them and then moved into accounting later on. It was really fun.
Some of the people watching this might not know who the Houston Oilers are. They were a football team. They're now the Tennessee Titans.
Yes, still owned by the Adams family. So.
Okay, so you worked for the Adams family.
Yes, yeah, right.
Not Morticia and...
No, yeah. Bud Adams.
Okay, but Minnesota is also part of your family and your history. What are your ties to Minnesota?
Sure. Well, first of all, my husband and I met at what was then known as St. Paul Bible College, now Crown College. And then his sister married a gentleman from Painesville, Minnesota, and so they still live here. So that's fun to be able to come up and see them when we're here.
So you have a brother-in-law and a sister-in-law living in Painesville.
Yes.
Home of Jason Albright.
Okay.
Jason. Okay, do you have a connection with Oklahoma?
No connection with Oklahoma.
Not yet.
I'll have to build one.
What else would you like to share about your past?
My past. I didn't mention my grandkids, and you did say that. That's like a huge part of my life because I do try to go to Africa once a year, and then they come home once every 3 years. So I won't have to go in 2021. They should be home. So I have 3 grandkids in Africa: Joshua, who's 8, Marie, who's 6, and Eva, who is 2. So my daughter homeschools on top of ministry there in the villages. So that's my pride and joy.
And you have a trip planned this summer to Africa.
Yes, the last day in May I'll go. I'm actually taking a little girl from, our friends have a girl who's 16 interested in missions in Africa specifically. And so the parents asked if I would be willing to accompany her if they would pay my ticket. Yeah, so I'll be doing that.
Hello, I'm Dave Chapin, and as I promised in the introduction, I'm here with three guys that all have something in common, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So before we get too far, I'll let them all introduce themselves.
I'm John Rice.
Noel Hartung.
Kyle Chemnitz.
All right, thank you. Finally, a bunch of guys. These three people, along with a couple others, Brandon Lee, who's behind the camera, and Tara Epps, who's not here with us, all have been taking the 5th year class. True, you guys all went to the class.
Correct.
And studied. What was it you guys studied in the class?
Just code and calculations.
Okay, code and calculations, and who wrote this book? You remember who? My old book. So then you all went and passed the test, right?
Correct.
So you passed the test. What do you think the class helped you in getting past the exam?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Definitely. How do you think it helped you, Kyle?
For me, it was, I don't have a whole lot of time after I get off, so it made me sit down and prioritize my time to where I sat down from, I think it was Tuesdays that we were taking it. Tuesdays, we'd go right into it, and then after that class got done, I did all my homework, and right there I set aside that time. So for me, it was really time was a big one for me.
Noel, what did you see?
It just helps, for me, it helped re-familiarize me with like calculations in the code book that, things that as electricians we don't do every day in the field, things that you need to know for the exam, that we aren't doing in the field, and it just gets you faster flipping through that code book and finding answers.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with, Kyle. He said it just kind of gives you the time, forces you to sit down and study, but it also kind of breaks it down in a way that makes it easy to understand. And I mean, for me, I was struggling to figure out what to study, and that thing just puts it right there in front of you. Gives you everything you need. So.
I have heard from several other people at other times that the key things, the three things are you set the date. You say, I'm taking the test, you sign up for it, you study, you go take the test. So all of you passed. Was it any of it your first try at trying to pass the test?
I took the Nebraska test twice. I took the Colorado test once.
Okay. So that is the common story. I mean, you hear very few people who have passed it on the first time. So you took the test, then you take this code test, and then you take the test and you pass. So would you recommend it to your coworkers?
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
Well, I thank you guys for your time. It's exciting that you took the exam, that you passed the exam. One of those things that I've said, I think it was just last month, is that you guys going out there and passing the test gives growth opportunities, not just to the three of you, but to other people here. Now you guys can go and take other roles, and other people get to come in from behind. And it's amazing that's how we grow, is through individuals succeeding. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
All right, we are here for the anniversaries in February this month, and so we're going to honor some people who have their upcoming anniversaries. We're going to start in Oklahoma. We're going to start with Mike DeCarly. Mike, on the 17th of February, has been here 10 years, and Chad Merrick on the 19th of February will be here 13 years. And then we're going to move to Nebraska. We have Scott Robertson on the 2nd of February, and he will be here 11 years. Caleb Dilly on the 9th will be here 5 years, and he has been here as well for that part-time for when he was in school and doing his internship. Calvin Yelm on the 9th will be here 6 years. Brittany Bohati on the 19th will be here 5 years, and Larry Steiskell on the 23rd will be here 2 years. And then in Minnesota, we have Lucas Florin, who on the 11th of February will be here 1 year. So thank you for all that you have done to make Wilmer Electric successful, and we celebrate your next anniversary. And now we will be talking about new hires. And so for the month of January, we have one new hire, and that would be Jill Baker, who is the new recruiter who will be based out of Nebraska. And you'll either have seen something on her or will see something on her in regards to who Jill Baker is. Well, for our last little segment here, we're going to be talking about tool reimbursement as well as evaluations coming up. And as you can see, we're outside in Minnesota, where it's actually today a very nice, relatively warm day. You can see that we've had a little bit of snow, and so we wanted everybody to experience what we've been experiencing for the last month and a half or so. In regards to tool allowances, just as a reminder that tool allowance now will end here March 31st, so make sure that you get your reimbursement information into me, so that we can get you reimbursed for the tools. It will again start April 1st, so the $300 will start over for everybody who is here at this current time. And then we have evaluations, just as a reminder that it is going to be the month of February here where we do annual evaluations, and they will be coming up here, so be prepared for them coming to everybody everywhere. So just watch for it from your supervisor and enjoy the process.